Okay, here we are. Let's see if we can continue this without a major breakdown of the internet. Okay, first one, 16.1. You guys can go into the book and figure this one out. It's just like we did in the practice set. 16.3. Okay, again, you're going to go through and figure out what these definitions connect with the accounts, okay? Did I get those out of whack one? I sure did. Look at this, guys. Need to pull that down just one row to make it happen. Okay? So, that's taken care of. This is the one I was telling you about when the internet went out. And this one, let's move over here just a second so you can see what I'm talking about. On your Excel sheet, it will not have this cost, assignment, and reconciliation if you pulled it down before this morning. And this morning being, this is Friday, I just corrected it. For some reason, this section did not get on there. So if you want, go back and pull down the new revised version that has this section in it. And this one is a full cost summary. And basically what you're going to do is, and there's some over here, so don't forget about that. Oh, I see what I did. I put it over to the side instead of all the way down. So, if, once you start this, you're going to use the numbers on the left to fill in the numbers over here on the right. So just start and do what we did in the others. So look at it, cost charged to production. So what was my beginning work in process? Well, if I come over to this side, I will find costs, right here, cost of beginning work in process. So I've got 18,550 plus 2280, and I will find the cost incurred this period in the same location. So that will be added here, and then that will be totaled to give you how much cost, how much the costs are that you're going to have to calculate. So that happens to be 20,830 plus 546,170, and that gives us a total cost of 567,123 there. This is the number we're reconciling to. When we get all finished with this number right down here, total cost accounted for, should be $567,000. So if we go back up, so we've got the scene set, so to speak. Now, units accounted for. So what was our beginning work in process? If you look to the left again, now we're talking about units, not costs this time. So you will look at equivalent units. It's not cooperating with me. So what did we begin with? It says beginning work in process were 2,000. It's down here. So here's where you're going to find all your numbers, right down on the bottom. So if we come back here, so my beginning work in process is 2,000. My units started were 32,500. That means the total amount of units I need to account for in this sheet are 34,500. Now let's move down and what was completed and transferred out. So look in the lower corner and you'll see 32,000 were transferred out. And we had in ending work in process 2,500. And that should come to 34,500. Okay, so you have your cost set and you have your units set. Now we're ready to start working on the equivalent units. And the equivalent units, let me show you where they're found. If I can grab hold of this silly thing. Right here's your equivalent units. So those are the ones you're going to move over to here. So equivalent units, completed and transferred. Well, it tells you that right here. Units transferred out, 32,000. So we have 32,000. Now you're working with units now, not cost. And 32,000 in conversion. So the ending work in process, it says are 2,500 equivalent units and 1,500 equivalent units. So our equivalent units of production, if you add those two together, are 34,500 and 33,500. Okay, so now we have our costs, and we're going to break that down here, okay? And we have the equivalent units of production. Everything so far is pretty balanced. So, now, what are our costs to bring across here? So, you're looking right here. This 18,000 and what we've incurred back and forth. So, those just get transferred over. So the cost of the beginning inventory was 18,550 and 2,280. Cost incurred are 35,500 and 188,670. Now, if you're going to add those up, these are our total costs. 376,050 and 190,950. Now you're going to bring your equivalent units down and find your cost per equivalent unit. And that's simply by dividing that 34,500 into the 36,750. And you'll come up with a unit equivalent dollars per equivalent unit here and here. So now you're in pretty good shape. You've got the hard part done. Now you're just going to reconcile all of this. So how many units did we transfer out? Well, we transferred out 32,000 times 1090. And that will come to 34,800. We had conversion costs times 32,000 times this 57. So that comes to 80. So I messed that up, guys. Forgive me here. This comes down. This Stopland. Here, go here. It's 3, 4, 8, 8, 1, 2, 3. And you only want to be in the green spaces. 1, 8, 2, 400. I'm still messing it up, aren't I? Let's try that. This gets to be green again. So, there you go. Now what's your total transferred out? So your total transferred out should be 531,200. And then you're going to do the same thing with your ending work in process. They had 2,500 for this one here, and they had 1,500 for this one. So just multiply those out and get your numbers of 27,250 and 8550, and that will give you an ending work in process of $35,800. Add those two together, what are you supposed to come up with? $567,000. And that is how you do a cost summary sheet. In most cases, as we do these, you're pretty well going to be told what the numbers are in the problem. So all you're going to have to do is understand how the calculations play out. And you're going to figure that one out on your own on this one. So you're going to figure out the green. What should that quantity be according to the calculations on how each one of these flow through? And I'm going to leave that one to you. I bet you can figure it out. So we'll go over this on Monday. And again, thank you for your patience. Have a good weekend.